Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful waist belt. So I used an Ankara fabric and a plain fabric for this tutorial. First thing I did was to mark my waist measurement minus 6 inches, which is 21 inches. And then for the width of the belt, I marked out 6 inches. I'm going to move my measuring tape upwards and I'm going to mark 6 inches again. And on the lower part, that point where I marked the waist measurement, I'm going to mark 6 inches again. And I'm going to square up this line. I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect this point into a straight line. I'm just going to square up the lower part as well. So I'm going to cut out this part I have for my fabric like so. Alright, after cutting it out, this is what I have. So at this point, you can go ahead and decide whichever shape you want your belt to have. So I'm just going with the shape I'm going to show you now. First, I folded my fabric into 2, and on that open side, I marked 1 inch inward like so. On the other side as well, I'm going to mark 1 inch or so. After marking that, I'm going to go ahead and mark the center of this fabric. Remember, I marked my waist measurement minus 1 inch, which is 21. So the midpoint is 10.5 inches. So I marked that point, and on each of the lines, I'm going to mark 3 inches to the left and 3 inches to the right as well from the center. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to curve this. I'm going to mark this to that point where I marked 3 inches, okay? So I'm just connecting to that 1 inch to just the way I did it here, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So this totally depends on what you want. You can go ahead and decide whichever shape you want for yours, okay? Alright, so if you follow the method I did, this is the shape you would have, but you can decide to do another shape. You can make the lower part straight and the upper part curved, just however you want it. Alright, so I'm going to use this fabric to cut out the other part of my belt. So I place this pattern on the plain fabric and I'm just going to cut out exactly the same size I have with the Ankara pattern, okay? Alright, so after cutting it out, this is what I have for mine. I have the 2 sides of the belt already. You already saw that this is going to be a reversible Ankara. So here I have the 2. So this is my other part. What I did was to go ahead and cut out an interfacing exactly the same size of the fabric I have for both the Ankara part and the plain part, okay? So I cut out an interfacing and then I used my hot iron to press this down. And for the belt or the rope as you would call it, I cut out a length of about 38 inches and a width of 3.5. So I'm placing that on the edge of the belt, right side facing, and I'm going to go ahead, take this to the sewing machine and stitch the belt to the center part of this belt, okay? So for the Ankara part as well, I am going to place the rope on it, right side facing. Remember, this is about 38 inches by 3.5. So I'll place it right side facing each other and I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and make a stitch on it as well. When I'm done doing that, I'm going to come right back and show you what I have. Okay guys, so after stitching the belt to the center part, I have this for my belt already. So this is the Ankara part, and for the plain black side, this is what I have as well. So what I'm going to do next is to put these 2 together. Alright, I'm going to place them right sides facing each other like so. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch them together, okay? So I'm going to make sure that they align properly. The center aligns, the center of the Ankara fabric aligns to the plain fabric. And I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch from this point here, I'm going to stitch down to the lower part, and I'm going to do that on the other side as well. And I'm also going to stitch on the rope side of this belt. Okay, so I'm going to stitch until I get to the end of the two sides of the belt. Okay, after doing that, I'm going to come right back and show you what we have. Alright guys, so this is what I have after stitching the two parts together. As you can see, so what you want to do is to go ahead and trim off your excesses, okay? The seam allowance, make sure you reduce it to the barest minimum, okay? So what I also did was to make a slant stitch on the side of the belt to make it curve like you saw on that part, and I left this part open so that I can use it to turn this belt inside out. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this inside out now. You can use whatever you use to turn out your fabric to do this, but at this point I just use my hand to turn mine inside out. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and give it a good press. As you can see, my fabric has been turned inside out, and I went ahead and give it a good press, and you see everything is lying very nice and flat, and it's looking so beautiful. I love this belt already. Okay, so that is what you want to go ahead and do for yours. You can see the plain side of this belt looking clean and nice, and you can also see that the Ankara part is looking nice. So what you want to do is to go ahead and give yours a top stitch if you want. That is strictly optional. For mine, I decided to leave it like this because I don't want to see any stitch on the right side of my fabric. But if you want, you can go ahead and top stitch all around the belt, okay, to give you that look that you want. So at the end of the day, I have 4.5 inches for the center, and for the length of this belt I have I'm going to just go ahead and measure it so you see the length I have for mine. So you see I have 60 inches here. I have to move my measuring tape to continue measuring, okay. Alright, so at the end of the day I have 94 inches of length for mine. So like you see here, this is very easy to make, and I would like you to go ahead and try this. Even if you're a beginner, you can go ahead and try this. It's very easy to make, okay. So thank you so much for watching this video. Until I see you again in my next video, like, comment, subscribe and share my video, and thank you so much for watching.